Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor. On behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation, thank you to Alaska Public Media for sponsoring this program. We are glad you could join us this evening. We're happy to have Aimee Moore back with us. She is going to talk a little bit about how she got to be an airline pilot. Welcome back, Aimee.
Mary, thank you.
On our last show, we talked about how you got involved in aviation and some of the flying that you did in your early career. And you've worked for a couple airlines, but let's talk about your current job and how you got hired and about how the process went for you. So first you applied for the job, then you had the interview, and then you had a flight test?
That's correct. The interview process was a two-stage. Actually there's three stages. There's the technical information, there is a human resources, and then there's also the simulator flying. And so each of those, there was a little bit of preparation that went into each one. The technical part was a lot of review, just the ATP written questions or instrument questions, knowing regulations, knowing some of the IFR criteria. The human resource questions were a lot more of a thought process on how to answer, how to present yourself. Information that you want the airline to know about you or your decision making, because a huge part of the airline mentality, the corporate culture, is the safety. Can they trust you with their image, with their passengers? And so your decision making skills was pretty important. And then of course I used the medallion simulator to sharpen my skills and make sure I was prepared for the simulator portion of the interview.
Great. I always encourage people to use the Medallion Foundation simulators, and this is a perfect opportunity for somebody that maybe doesn't fly instrument conditions and knows that they need to prep themselves in order to take a flight test on a simulator for an airline interview.
Absolutely. Really, really recommend it, and the equipment there is just outstanding and very versatile, and I felt very well prepared being able to use it, and it was a tremendous asset.
Good. So initially, where did you see the job advertised, and how did you go about applying for the job?
This is actually the second regional carrier I've had the privilege to work for, and it's one of the binds where just kind of a little bit of networking, knowing who's hiring, knowing a little bit about the corporate culture or each airline, the equipment that they have, where their pilot bases are. Some of the decision making I think anyone has to go through is, are they willing to commute? Where do they want to be based? What kind of equipment do they want? And then other questions are related to what being with that company is like. How long till you can be captain? What kind of equipment are they flying? So all of that went into the process of deciding who to apply with and where to pursue employment.
So when you did the interview, were you able to do that in Alaska, or did you have to go out of state to do that?
I was out of state for the interview.
So then you do the interview and they say, okay, we like you, now let's see how you can fly?
It was all one day. The application was online, and then there was a phone interview that was, we're pretty interested in you if this is really who you are and what you say, and then they line up the interview over the phone, and I was actually offered positive space travel to the interview, which was very much appreciated. And then through the day, as I say, there's about 3 interview processes, the technical and the HR, technical HR and the simulator. They fit it all into the same day and then fly back that evening.
And at the time you come back, do you know whether you have the job or not?
I was offered a class date at the interview. Everybody I've talked with, it's been a different experience. Some of them, when they have classes that they know they need to fill, they offer a date, give you some materials and say, look this over and come to class prepared knowing all these things, and other ones, yeah, we'll be in touch. And so I had the comfort of a successful interview and a class date and about 3 weeks to prepare before I was in class.
Well, I'm sure you were impressive as a candidate, so they probably wanted to hire you right away.
Generous.
So do you have any advice that you would give to someone that was looking at a career as an airline pilot?
It's a long road. It's not something that happens quickly. Be willing to ride out the highs and the lows. Right now the industry is kind of gearing up for a frenzy. There's going to be a lot of hiring going on, both at the regional and at the majors. I have been furloughed twice, so that was kind of the low. And it doesn't happen immediately, but it is doable. It's manageable, it's exciting, it's a very fun way to go to work. And when you enjoy work, it's really a great career.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on the job. We look forward to having you back on the show, and especially after you've become captain and you can tell us what it takes to succeed there.
Oh, Mary, you're generous. Thank you.
Folks, thank you for tuning in tonight. We encourage you to become members of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. Membership forms are found online at our website, www.aasfonline.org. Until next time, thanks for your support and fly safely. Thank you, Aimee.